Buhay everyone, Marches here. Welcome to the channel, and today I'll be comparing two of the most responsive Nike sneakers that are out in the market. I know a lot of you have been requesting me to compare these two, so let's find out which one's better. Before we start with this comparison, if you want to watch the performance review of each of these sneakers, I'll be putting a link up here so you can have a more detailed look on each of these sneakers. On my right is the Zoom GT Cut. It's one of the newest basketball sneakers out from Nike, while this is the Kobe 6 Protro in the Grinch colorway. So these two sneakers are really made for guards who wants it to be very responsive and you feel very fast on court while wearing these. So let's start off with the uppers of this two. Of the Kobe 6 Protro, it features this mesh upper, which is also fused with flywire, and the scales are plastic, while on the GT Cut features this mesh that is soft in some parts and on other parts it's re-engineered or fused to. In terms of support and durability, the GT Cut will have a slight advantage on that because on how covered the toe area of the GT Cut is. The outsole goes up, while on the Kobe's, some areas of the outsole goes up like on the tip, but on the side, it's kind of exposed. But there's an extra plastic piece below the upper of the material where you have extra durability on those areas. But I would say comparing them close to each other, the materials on the forefoot part of the GT Cut is more durable compared to the Kobe's. And moving on to the back part of the sneaker, of course, on the Kobe's, where you can see the signature look of the heel cup, where it really goes from the back to around the mid part of the sneaker. And there's a very nice heel cup there. And of course, durability is also there because it's made out of plastic. And there's another layer of synthetic leather that is shiny. While on the GT Cut, it's still the same material found in the forefoot, but it's heavily fused around the heel, plus the heel cup is internal, unlike the Kobe's. So as for heel containment, lockdown, I would say they're pretty much equal. Both have very nice heel containment and lockdown. Although the snugness around the heel, I will give it more to the GT because it has thicker foam around the sides or around the ankle part compared to the Kobe's, where it's thinner around the ankle, but still support and lockdown, I mean, both are great. There's no complaints there. And as for heel slippage, there's no problem in heel slippage at all in both sneakers. And both have very nice padding around the heel and ankle. So I would say they're pretty much equal in that aspect. And as for durability, both heel are heavily caged. The GT Cut, I think, will be more durable because on how high this foam goes up around the heel and protects your heel. If you're about to hit something above the heel, it won't directly scratch the upper of the GT Cut. So slight advantage on the GT Cut again in terms of durability around the heel. And let's talk about the tongue of both sneakers. They both have traditional tongue and a traditional lacing system. Both are very easy to wear, but I like the cushioning on the tongue on the GT Cut a little bit better compared to the Kobe's, which feels a little bit more comfortable compared to the Kobe's. But the ventilation on the tongue of the Kobe's are heavily perforated, so ventilation is really nice on the tongue of the Kobe's. And as for the laces, both have very high quality laces. On the Kobe's, although it has a flat lace, while on the GT Cut, it has a kind of rounded lace, but both laces will stay intact while you're playing. It won't loosen up. And as for the two insoles of these two sneakers, where it's really different, because on the Kobe's, you will have this molding insole on the Kobe's, which means the more that you use the Kobe's, it will shape more on your foot shape. So it will really give you a very nice fit on the footbed. While on the GT Cut, it has a drop-in React insole, which just by the React name, you would know that it's really good. It's very plush, very high quality, forefoot impact protection, and bounciness on the React foam is really nice. While also the insoles has sidewalls, which adds on the lateral support and will really cup your foot in the footbed, and you won't go slipping anywhere in the footbed. So in terms of insole, I would say they're both great, but the level of the insole of the GT Cut is way above. And as for the cushioning setup of both sneakers, the Kobe 6 features a 4-foot Zoom Turbo unit and a carrying full-length cushion foam. And on the 4-foot, it feels very nice, very bouncy. At the same time, the cushion gives you impact protection, especially on the heel and even the 4-foot too. While on the GT Cut, it has a full-length Zoom straw bell and it has additional foam on the sides, which I don't think contributes to the impact protection, the heel of the GT Cut. The combination of the full-length Zoom straw bell and the insole React really gives you a very nice feel. And both cushion setups are very nice. The only difference that I see is on the Kobe's, it's a low-profile sneaker, but it's not as low as the ones on the GT Cut. It's a little bit higher compared to the GT Cut standards. The bounciness in the 4-foot of the Kobe's are really nice. They feel very bouncy. But if you want a really low-profile, low ride to the floor cushion setup that will still give you bounciness, and at the same time very nice impact protection in the 4-foot and heel, because it also has an additional zoom unit in the heel, the GT Cut will give you that. But if you don't like it really low to the ground, the Kobe's cushion setup is also on point. And as for the heel impact protection, the Kobe's has a better impact protection because the cushion is a lot thicker around the heel, but still the impact protection in the GT Cut is still nice given that it's really low to the ground. Another nice part about these two sneakers is of course the tractions. Both tractions grips really hard, especially on the clean floor. Dust pickup, both sneakers, I didn't experience any dust pickup. Even on the Kobe, it's still very clean. I just played yesterday on a dusty floor. Both grips really well. But there's one thing that I noticed on the Kobe's traction is on the heel, it doesn't bite as hard as the ones in the 4-foot. But I usually use my 4-foot traction for stopping. But the heel traction is not as nice as the ones in the 4-foot. I think it's because of the rubber compound. This is translucent and this one is solid rubber. While on GT Cut, it has the same traction, the 4-foot and heel, and it bites really hard on the floor. Even on a dusty floor, still grips hard. And as for outdoor use, I would say the GT Cut would be better for outdoor use because the rubbers are thicker. Even though the Kobe's have deeper grooves, but the thickness of the rubber is not too thick, so I would lean more on the GT Cut for outdoor use. And another difference on the outsole, where the Kobe's win, is of course this carbon fiber shank that you can see here in the midfoot part of the outsole, and it gives you that extra recoil. It doesn't bend that easily, and once it bends, it gives you that spring back, which is lacking on the GT Cut. If you want more energy return, if you're running more up and down the court, the Kobe's will be better for that because of this carbon fiber shank. Both sneakers are very snug, but the GT Cut is snugger compared to the Kobe's, where you can see on the sides, where the Kobe's still has a little bit more curve going up, and there's a little bit more room around the 4-foot area compared to the GT Cut, where the TPU plate, which gives you excellent lateral support, also contributes on the snugness of the GT Cut. So it's really snug around the 4-foot. It's really flat on top of your 4-foot. So that's something to watch out for. So if you're a wide footer, the Kobe 6 I think will be better for you. But if you really like the GT Cut, I would recommend you to try it in store and see how it fits you. As for sizing, true to size for regular footers and wide footers, half a size up, and maybe on the GT Cut, maybe full size up, depending on how wide your foot is. As for the price of the two sneakers, the Kobe's is $9,000. This is $180 US. They're almost the same price. And as for the weight of these two sneakers, the Kobe's is lighter by 100 grams compared to the GT Cut. This is 370. This is 470 grams. But on reality, when you're playing with it, you wouldn't notice the 100 grams difference of the GT Cut because on how nice the fit of the GT Cut is. And I forgot to mention about lateral support. I would give the lateral support on the GT Cut more compared to the Kobe's, which by the way has excellent lateral support already. But the GT Cut is way up there in terms of lateral support. Your foot will never go anywhere on the GT Cut. It will just stick on the footbed, believe me. So in terms of support laterally, GT cut for the win, and I feel a little bit faster on the GT cut because of the support, and it's lower to the ground compared to the Kobe's. But in terms of running up and down the floor, the Kobe's is better because it's lighter and it has a carbon fiber plate for excess spin back and recoil. So that's it for my comparison between the Kobe's and the GT Cut. Let me know what you think about the sneakers. Which one would you choose? Hit me a comment down below. And a little reminder, guys, I am selling some of my sneakers if you're based here in the Philippines over at my Carousel account. I'll be putting the link down in the description box. There's a little surprise on some of you who are buying my sneaker. I'll be putting some giveaways, so extra incentive. So some giveaways when I'm sending you your purchased sneakers. If you're a size 10.5 or 11, drop by my Carousel account. And if you're planning to give someone a sneaker that still looks new, go ahead and check my site. Thanks again, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.